Good morning to all of you. So previously in our last class we have talked about the data science and what is data science, basics of all the things. And at the same time we have discussed the job or the job role is present in the data science domain. So what are the job role that was present in the that is present actually in the data science domain? That is first one the data scientist, second one is a data analyst, third one is a machine learning expert, fourth one is a data engineer, fifth one is a data architect, sixth one is a data administrator, seventh one is a business analyst, and eight business intelligence manager. So these eight type of job domains are available in the field of data science. So now discussing about each and every one. So first one we are talking about that is data scientist. So what is a data scientist? We can say that a data scientist is a professional or is a specialist. We can say that who works with a large amount of data and to come up with compelling business insight through the development of various tools, techniques, methodologies, and algorithms. So it is a person or it is a specialist or a professional person who works with a large number of data and applies the applies his knowledge or expertise level knowledge in statistics and building some machine learning algorithm techniques tools, and what for what purpose, for to make some predictions and answer key of business questions. So some it is used for some business insight thoughts. It is used for some business insight thoughts. That is and the person is a professional or a specialist person who is a very expertise on the field of data science with in the field of statistics and building some machine learning tools algorithms. He is the person is very much capable of doing this much thing, and he is a professional or a specialist person on this data science space to make the prediction of the business insight thoughts through the development of various tools algorithms and models of machine learning. So, what are the things are required for the field of data scientist? So, what are the fields or what are the skills are required in the field of data scientist? So, to become a data scientist, first of all, one need to know the data science, the concept of data science very much clear. Second, the language or what are the tools they need to know. The first one, Python. Second one is R language, then the SQL, MATLAB, Apache, this type of data science related tools, data science related tools or skill softwares the person need to know to be a data scientist. And also beside this, at the same time, the person need to know the statistics or the mathematics and the visualization. This particular things also is required to be a data scientist. So the tools like R platform, Python platform, MATLAB platform, these are required for a data scientist. And also at the same time, the knowledge, the theoretical and the conceptual knowledge of statistics, mathematics is very much required in the field of data scientist. So now the data scientist still needs to understand domain. They need to clear about the organization, and also one thing is very important that the goal of the organization or what is the query of the organization, what is the need of the organization. That is also need to know. That is also one of the important thing. And finding out this particular question or finding out the organization goal and then to make a particular answer or particular solution for that particular query or for that particular problem is the one of the important tasks of data scientist, is one of the important tasks of data scientist. Next, after the data scientist, we are going to talk about data analytics. Now, the thing is that data analyst or data analytics, it is the process or it is the it is an individual who performs the mining. It is a process of breaking the problem into simpler parts and using the inference based on the data to take decisions. So, the person who is a data analytics you need to work or need to perform some mining on the huge data, need to perform some mining on the huge data, made models the data or to segregate the data and looks for the things and looks for the particular the what are the needs, and as per the person needs to take some decisions. So the data analyst is the process to breaking the problem into some simpler parts and using inference based on the data to take some decisions, so here the thing is that with the visualization is one of the important thing. And because visualizing the problem and the data, visualizing the problem and the respective data, then what we can do, how the problem can be solved with the help of the related data, segregating the data, and then much deeper visualization of that particular data is needed. So data analytics is an individual who performs the mining of huge amount of data, models the data and looks for the pattern. So what are the pattern? What are the trend is actually going on? What are the relationships between those data? That is the task of this data analyst. That is a task of the data analyst. And after the visualization, very much with a good clear knowledge of the visualization of the data, then decision can be made and the problem solving process can be given. So the work on the data. So working on the data, the work going into the deep of the data, that is the main task of the data analyst. So here the three process we can see that first one is the data collection, second one is the data storage, third one is the data retrieval. So the data analytics is a means we can see the data collection. It is the process of gathering the data or information. So gathering the data or information, it is a task, but to be precisely, it is more important to gather the data or information with the respective problem. So what are the problem? As per that the data we need to collect, we can collect data, but the data, if it is not used or if it is no use for our problem, then it is not acceptable or it is not used of, so it is a waste of data. So we need to collect that particular data which is actually related with our problem. So it is the process of gathering the desirable information carefully, that's why the term desirable is mentioned here, the desirable information carefully with the least possible distortion, so the thing is that every data has some noise or distortion. So whatever the data we are going to choose, the noise will be available, but if we find the data which is very less noisy, then it is effective. Otherwise we need to reduce those particular noise from the data to work on. Second one, the data storage. It collects and manages the data sets. It collects and manages the data sets. So third one, the data retrieval. It is the way in which data desired by a user is specified and retrieved from the data stored. Now, in the part of data retrieval, the data retrieval is a way in which the data desired by a user, is specified and retrieved from a data stored. So the data is available, the data is stored in some storage space. Now it is the way in which the data needs to be retrieved in a particular desirable format. So every problem has some particular desirable format on which we are working on the way we are working on the data. So we need to retrieve the data from the storage in the particular specified format. So data collection, data storage, and data retrieval. So we can see that this data analytics is not it is not related to a person or anything. It is a process. It is a process actually. It is not in terms of tool or technology. It is a process of thinking to solve the particular problem. So this data analytics, we can say that it is a process of thinking to solve those particular problem. It may can change from person to person. So every person has some different approach on a particular problem. So every person has some different thinking perspective. So for a particular problem, if two or three person are working, then person A's thinking is not going to match with person B in most of the cases. Person B's thinking will not match with person C, because everyone have some different opinion, everyone has some different thinking. So it is a process actually, it is not any kind of tool or technology, it is a process that how to solve the particular problem, how to solve the particular problem. So there are various types of another things, another various types of domains are present inside this data analytics. That is a business analytics, marketing analytics, risk analytics, broad analytics, financial analytics, healthcare analytics, and cleft analytics. So web analytics. So it is the thing is that this particular data analytics is a broad domain, and with by segregating that particular broad domain into some separate particular domains, so business part or the marketing part. So it is all are related to some organization, or the total organization is depending on risk factor, broad analytics, financial management, healthcare management. All of these are some different particular domain, and data analytics is a total broad domain under which this particular segregated domain we can find out. So we can say that this analytics can be of three types. So this analytics can be of three types based on the industry, based on the business function, and based on the type of insight. So this business analytics can be of three types based of the industry, based of the business function, and based of the type of insight, based of the type of insight. Now, as we are talking about this data analytics, as we are talking about this data analytics, so, what are the process? So, what are the process can be used for the data analytics part? What are the process we can have? So, first process we can say that descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics. So, what is the descriptive analytics? So, it is uses some existing information from the past. So, descriptive analytics is using some information from the past, using some information from the past, and collect them and make a decision in the present scenario, and it will be a source of action in the future scenario. So in the part of descriptive analytics, we are actually using some information that already existed. So we are using some information that already exists in the past, and we collect them and make a decision in the present scenario. It will be a source of action and the future scenario. So taking the data from the past, and then make a decision in the present scenario to use them in the future scenario. So all the things are like quite in a row, in a following pattern. So the thing is that the data which are already available in the market in the past, we are going to work on that particular data, and using working on that particular data by predicting some model tools and technology, we are going to make a decision in the present scenario, that what will be a decision, what is the best for the organization, and then we are going to apply that particular process or particular decision in the future scenario. So three things are related: past, present, and future, all are related in the same particular domain, that is the descriptive analytic process, where information is collected from the past, working on the data and information is in the present scenario, and then finally that particular decision, whatever the decision have been made on that particular data, and it will be implemented in the future scenario. So this is the part of descriptive analytics. Then predictive analytics. Then we are talking about the predictive analytics. It works by identifying some patterns and historical data and uses statistics for some futures. So this predictive analytics, we can talk about that it works by identifying the patterns. So we are visualizing the problem. Their visualization is one of the important part here. So we have to visualize the problem first, one the data. So after visualizing the problem and the data, we need to find out the pattern of the data. We need to find out the pattern and the historical part of the data, and use statistics for the future. And after doing those particular pattern, finding out the pattern and all the things, we need to use some statistics for the future reference. This is the prediction, or to predict something. Here we need to predict something for the predictive analytics part. So the prediction will be done here following the pattern. We are going to follow some pattern, and as per the pattern we are going to predict the future references. We are going to predict the future scenario or the future references. Then prescriptive analytic. Prescriptive analytic means we need to make our decision for the current scenario. So it will be working on the real time or the run time. So whatever the things or problem is actually happening, we need to make our decision at the real time or the run time. And it also include the previous two process, that is the predictive and descriptive analytic, to make our final decision. So we are using in the prescriptive analytics, we need to work on the real time or runtime scenario, and besides that we are going to use the previous two analytic process to make our final decision, so these are the part. Besides this particular data analytics, data scientists, and these are the things, there are several other parts also, that is the business analytics and this particular thing. So two things we are talking about. We are talking about currently the data science. We are currently talking about the data science, and besides this there are also one thing, that is the business intelligence. The data science and the business intelligence, it is the same thing actually. The data science and the business analysis is also a part of this data analysis of business information, data analysis of business information. So data analysis and business intelligence and data science, it almost may be similar or related to each other at some particular point, but somewhere it will be there are some differences there, but somewhere there are a small differences is present. So what are the most difference if I am talking about? So one differences between business intelligence and data science, we are talking about that business intelligence is totally analytical. The data is available in the past, and we are going to do this particular thing. So business analytic intelligence is some analytical, but or the method is some using some analytical method from the data of the past. And data science is a scientific process, goes deeper, means we are going to into the deep of the data. We need to find out all the scenario, all the properties of that particular data. And in the case of business intelligence, there are two most important things is required for a person, that is the visualization, one of the important part, and second one is the statistics. So statistics and visualization is one of the important part for the case of business intelligence skills. But in the same scenario in the data science, the statistics and visualization is important, and beside that one of the important thing is machine learning skills. The machine learning skills is also important in the field of data science. Machine learning skills is also important on the data science. So these are the these are the basic differences between the business intelligence and the data science, we can say. So after having this particular much discussion of the data science, so we can say that, so we can generally say that the data science components, if we are talking about the data science components, so what are the basic components of data science? The basic components of data science, we can say the first one is the statistics, second one is the data domain expertise, third one is the visualization. So what are the things we are doing, that is actually our data science component. So whatever the thing is required or whatever the thing is needed, that is the we can say the component. So first one is the statistics, second one is the visualization, third one is the domain expertise, fourth one is the data engineering, and fifth one is the advanced computing. So these five we can mark as a data science component. So these five can be marked as data science components, as a data science component. So what is the statistics? So we can say what is statistics. Statistics is that the important components of a data science, and it is a way to collect and analyze this numerical data in the large amount and find meaningful insight from that. So statistics means it is a way of collect and analyze the numerical data. Domain expertise means whatever the domain we are working. Suppose in general, if a person is comfortable or working in C platform, so that is his domain expertise. If a person is working on Microsoft Word, he knows each and everything of a Word, Excel, then he is the domain expertise of those particular fields. So in the case of data science, so the domain expertise means that knows everything or in a clear concept of data science. So that is called the domain expertise. Data engineering is one of the part or components that say that involves actually acquiring or retrieving the data, storing the data, that is the or transforming the data or in the format that is required. So this is the part of the data engineering. Visualization, we need to visualize the data very much, or go deeply into the data, because without visualizing the data or without visualizing the problem, and if we don't relate these two things as much, then it is not actually used. So visualization is a very important tool or very important component in the field of data science. And advanced computing means the some knowledge of the advanced softwares and the technical things is required in the field of data science to predict our problems and to predict the desired output, or to find out the desired output. So this is the five basic components of the data science we can talk about. So this is the five basic component of data science. And beside that, also the mathematics is one of the most important component, because as statistics is involved, as predicting some model, or some decision making is involved, then mathematics is one of the important powerful tool, because without the mathematics we will not going to able to process this particular thing. Now, the life cycle. So, if we are talking about the data science, so what is the life cycle? So, we are having much discussions of the data science. So, we can actually say that what are the life cycles of this data science? What are the life cycle of a data analytic process? So, first one, that problem identification. First one is the problem identification. Second one is the hypothesis formation. Third one is the data collection. Fourth one is the data exploration. Fifth one is the data preparation or data manipulation. Sixth one is the model planning and building. Seventh one is to validate the model. And eighth one is the evaluate or monitor the particular result. So these are the 8 steps. Means starting from the first and the last step, it is the steps. It is the steps of the data analytics process. So what are the steps of the data analytics process? The first step of the data analytics process, we are talking about the problem identification. So problem identification is the basic component in every field, because without identifying the problem, we are not going to able, or we are not going to process further. So problem identification is very much important. Problem identification is very much important. It starts from the time what we are choosing any problem. So if we are working on an organization, or if we are working anywhere, suppose as a teacher, I am a teacher. Now I need to identify the problem. What is the problem while we are having a class? Then means what will be the best possible way? Means identify the problem means, suppose we are having a class. So the class needed to be in some particular mode, that by which the students can understand each and everything, and if they have some query they can ask. All of these things needs to be made. So this is the problem identification. So if there is any problem happening, we need to identify the problem first. So that is an important part in every aspect or in every domain. So the problem identification is the first important task in everywhere. So not I'm mentioning in the case of data science, it is important in everywhere. So data science is not beside everything. So as data science is also a process, so process means some identifying some problem. So every process has some problem, so we need to identify the problem first. So the problem identification is first component in the case of big data analytics. Then hypothesis formation, hypothesis problems. Then the problems need to be breakdown or segregated. The problems need to be break down and segregated, and we need to find out that how much segregation is done there, how much breaking is needed, and how much formulation is needed for every segregation. So every segregation needs some solution. If I am breaking a problem into a different part, into a several segregated part, then every segregated part needs to be addressed. And then the process is that every segregated problems needs some solution. So this is the hypothesis formation, that is the breaking down the problems and formulate the hypothesis for each and every single segregated parts, for each and every single segregated part. Data collection. This is the basic terms that data collection. We need to collect the data as per our problems, as per the problems. So we need to collect the data as per the problems. We can collect data, any type of data, but if the data is not related to our problem, then it is particularly of no use. So we need to collect the data that is related to our problem actually. Then data preparation or the data manipulation. Data preparation or the data sorry, the fourth one is the data exploration. Data exploration means we need to explore the data and we need to find out the very much helpful data. Again, it is a quite kind of similar thing of like data collection. So we are collecting the data, and from the data collected, from the data which we have collected, we need to explore the data that is much useful, that is very much useful to us. So this is the data exploration. Then data preparation for or the data manipulation. Data preparation or the data manipulation, we can say we need to submit some prototypes. So we need to design some prototype at the in the part to solve the problems. As data science, there are some prototype is needed. Data science means that it is a prototype or it is some building some model actually. So data preparation or the data manipulation to build the particular prototype, it is very much used. Model planning and building. Then as I said that the data science or the data, this particular data science, in the field of data science, whatever the problems are, it requires to build some model, it requires to build some model actually. So model planning and building is one of the important part. It is the process of building the solution or the process of modeling some building some model actually, and implementing that particular model into the particular work, implementing that particular model into the work actually. And then to validate the model. So the model have been prepared. Now we need to validate the model, or we need to evaluate the model of the result. So validate the model means we need to check that particular model different times by applying in some different problems. So we need to apply, we need to check the model that whether it is giving the output or whether it is predicting the result. And it is also the one of the important factor here, that the minimal time. So if we need to also remember that the time scenario factor, we need to remember the other components also, so that the cost related effect also, so that it will not take that much high investment to use that particular model. So we need to validate the model, the process of developing or the appropriate model is there, and evaluation and the monitor the particular result. So then after the all the things have been done from 1 to 7 actually, then we need to check it in some real time model, in real time scenarios, to whether the particular model, whether the model have been developed, it is particularly working or not. So this is the 8 life cycle of this of a data science, of a data analytics part. So these are the 8 life cycles, we can say that these are the part of data science, these are the part of data science. So any doubts up to this particular discussion we have? Any doubt? Look, as the thing is, data science is totally a trending technique, that is a emerging technique also beside that, and it is included in your syllabus. So we need to also learn this particular thing, we need to study this. Okay, so having the class discussion, I am trying to teach you, I am trying to discuss each and every point. But after that, if you people will not study for at least some time, whatever the discussion we have in the class, then it will be not actually going to be produce a fruitful result. So it is not like some other topics. Okay, so this is a topic that is still developing, that is still going to develop, that is the research is still going on. So we need to study it also from our side. So whatever the topic we are discussing, do study that in your home for at least some time, so you people can understand what is the thing going on. So if anyone have some doubt till till the discussion we have today, so they may ask me. So in the module one part, so we have almost covered half of the things. Then we are going to our next discussion on the next class, that is the Python and the purpose and the components of Python and data analytics process we have already discussed. So in our module one, the topics are that is given, that is the introduction to data science, define sectors of using the data science, purpose and components of using Python, data analytics process, explanatory data analytics, quantitative technical graphical technique, and data types for plotting. So for introduction to data science and define sectors of data science and data analytics process, these three parts or these three topics have been covered till now. In our next class, we are going to talk about the purpose and the components of Python. Okay, so in our next class, we are going to discuss on that particular topic. And then we are having in the module one, that is the quantitative technique and graphical technique and data types for plotting. So we are going as per the syllabus, and beside that, whatever the thing is required beside the syllabus, as per whatever the syllabus is given, beside that, whatever the thing is needed to study this particular thing, I am also going to do this side by side. Okay, so I am not going to stick through the syllabus. Okay, whatever the extra things on is needed to come to understand the total process, actually I am going to teach you that particular process. Okay, so if you are having any type of doubts, any type of query in your mind, so please tell me, because if you keep your doubts in your mind and if you don't tell me, then I will not be able to solve that particular problem for you. So this is my request, that if anyone have any type of doubts in your mind while having the class, so they may ask me or at any time, or if you are studying at home later on and if you find some problem, write down the particular query in somewhere, so that you may ask me what that this particular problem needs to be addressed. Okay, so fine. I think if you people don't have any type of query for today's class, write down your name in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Write down your name in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Okay, thank you all for writing your name into the chat box. I'm going to end the session here. Thank you all for joining into the class. And if you please study this particular topics and discussion in the home. And if you find some problem, do ask me in some later stage. Okay. Thank you all for joining into the session, and take care and stay safe in your home.
Thank you, sir.